All right, now 6:33. 3 and 3 is 6. So that's like 4 threes. That's Chad math. See if we can get home before 7:33. I don't know. Well, yesterday I played some old Dr. Demento, and to my surprise, the upload was successful. I didn't get blocked. Of course, with anything that you upload onto YouTube at any time, somebody could come along and say, hey, wait a minute, we just found out about this. We need to block that. So just because it wasn't blocked today doesn't mean it can't be blocked in the future. But for now, we'll just count our blessings so that maybe we'll be able to get to listen to hour 2 today. Of Dr. Demento from May something. May 3rd, 1987. His special topic for that week was cars, which we already heard of yesterday. And then he had a second special feature, which was going to be recordings by young artists. And he made a big deal about having a recording by, back then, I think she was probably in her late teens, early 20s, Molly Ringwald. But Dr. Demento found a recording of her from when she was like 6 years old or something. And it was like the highlight of the segment. Here it is, the Molly Ringwald song. Because she was like the big child or teen star at that time. So when should I start that? Should I start it now? Or wait till I get on the freeway? Well, I might stop a couple of times during this hour, so maybe I should start it now. I'm hoping, because today is the day before New Year's Eve, that a lot of people are taking this week off. Even though it's Monday, day after tomorrow is New Year's Day, and everybody's taking that off, so I'm hoping a lot of people will think, you know, I'm just going to take Monday and Tuesday off. That way I'll have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off. And you know what? Maybe I'll even take Thursday off. Only if I'm lucky. But as for today, I'm hoping that traffic might be a little lighter than a normal Monday, with people still on their Christmas vacation from last week. We're about to find out. I'm not going to make this light. Watch. I'm predicting the future. I'm not making this light. See, I told you. I predicted the future. Do you like that? Not only do I save people's lives by keeping my foot on the brake, but I predict the future. Knowing that that damn red light was going to stop me here like it always does. Alright, I'm going to start this. Shut up, Danny. Play the music.
Dr. Demento!
Request line, hello.
Hello, my name is AJ. I live in Merced, California, and I get demented on Kissin 105. I would really like to hear, I've got those wake up at 7:30, wash your ears, they're dirty, eat your eggs and oatmeal, what's the school blues?
You gotta get up, you mustn't wait. Hurry up and get dressed or you're gonna be late. Wash your face, eat your food, no one cares if you're not in the mood.
I've got those wake up 7:30. Wash your ears, they're dirty. Eat your eggs and oatmeal rust and school blues. It's such a nice day. I'd rather go play, but I gotta get to school. The late bell will ring. Each day's the same thing. Always waking and washing, eat oatmeal like a fool. 10 and 12 make 20 teachers.
Nothing of the kind.
If I don't get something right, I'll lose my cotton picking mind.
Did Columbus sail the ocean? Did he travel very far?
I didn't do my homework, I'd much rather play guitar.
These guns gotta get up, wash your face, mustn't wait, eat your food and get dressed or you're gonna be late.
I've got those ghosts sit in a corner, feel like Jackie Horner. Teacher always keeps me after school blues. Can't do no flitting, just keep us sitting on a stool so high. I'd put Daddy's door up if I could just grow up. Got those reading and writing, those grammar school blues till I die. Question after question all day long, it isn't fair. If you ask me confidential, I think teacher is a square. But I get out of classrooms where the teacher is the boss. Might as well be on the prairie riding my old little horse.
He's got those reading and writing, and when you're not writing, you stay at the school and you feel like a fool.
I've got those wake up 7:30. Wash your ears, they're dirty. Got those reading and writing, those grammar school blues till I die. Oh,
We've got a youth movement going on today's Dr. Demento show. That last one recorded in 1954 by the #1 preteen idol of those days, Jimmy Boyd, who was 11 and a half when he began his recording career with I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, #1 hit at Christmas 1952. I've got those wake up 7:30, wash your ears, they're dirty, eat your eggs, and oatmeal rush to school. Blues was one of the last songs he recorded before his voice changed a couple of years later. This little survey of pint-sized popsters was actually inspired by a record that just came out. Al Anderson, who's the guitarist for the rock group NRBQ, came across some homemade tapes of himself at the age of 10 and put them out on a record on the group's own label. Here's one of the songs.
Well, I came home all evening from work. I just a lone grocery clerk. I wanted things that I should be marked. Things that I should own at food store. Don't trust a yellow-head woman. Don't trust her if her hair is brown. Don't trust any kind of woman. It'll always make you down.
RBQ, showing quite a bit of talent at the age of 10. That song was originally the B-side of I'm Stickin' With You by Jimmy Bowen, which was a big hit in 1957. Kids always pick up on the B-sides, I know I did. There have been some great kid singers from time to time in American pop music. Michael Jackson, of course, who was 10 when the Jackson 5 had their first million seller, I Want You Back. The late Frankie Lyman in the 50s had a terrific voice, but the most famous kid singer of 20th century America, beyond a doubt, was Shirley Temple. She sang only in the movies. None of her songs came out on records till much, much later, but for several years in the 30s, she was the #1 box office draw in America. Not just the one child star, but #1, period. She started in the movies at 3 and was 6 years old when she sang this one in a movie called Bright Eyes.
On the good ship, lollipop, it's a sweet trip to a candy shop where bonbons play. On the sunny beach of Peppermint Bay, lemonade and everywhere cracker jack men, melting air, and there you are, happy landing on a chocolate bar. Sugar bowl to the Tootsie Roll with the big fat devil spoon cake. If you eat too much, you'll walk away with a tummy ache on the good ship. Lollipop, it's a night trip. Into bed you hop and dream away. On the good ship, lollipop.
Shirley Temple on the Dr. Demento Show, 6 years old, must be some kind of magic age. Molly Ringwald was 6 when she made an album of old-time tunes with her father, a Dixieland piano player, and some of his pals.
Come along, get your partner where your friend got, for there's gonna be a party in this good old town where you know everybody and they all know you, and you've got to get that music to drive away the blues. When you hear that music start to play, tap your feet and start to step and sway. When you get that rhythm, you wanna shout hooray. Be a hot time in your town tonight. When you hear those drums floating away, all turn round and gaily you must sing. The first is the boom, in chorus so join in. Be a hot time in your town tonight.
Molly Ringwald, age 6, with her dad's Dixieland band. If you watch television for a length of time, you've probably seen once or twice a lady named Rose Marie, popular singer of the 40s and 50s. She has done talk shows and things like that. Well, she was another child prodigy who made this next record in 1932 when she was 7. See if it doesn't remind you of another star of the rock and roll era who started very young, Brenda Lee. Here's Baby Rose Marie. Well, about 3 decades before Dick Van Dyke, there was baby Rose Marie, 7 years old, on the Dr. Demento Show. They don't make as many records of kid performers now as they used to, but every week I get some in the mail on homemade tapes. Kids do the darndest things. Here's one that came just last week from a fellow named Eccentric Eric D. in Lake Elsinore, California. I don't know just how old Eric is, but he does have a vivid imagination and some demented discs and a little tape recorder.
This is Eccentric Eric D. here at for an interview with Ronald Reagan. Mr. Reagan, I'll come straight up and ask you this. Did you sell weapons to the Ayatollah?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
But there's a rumor, Mr. Reagan, that the weapons you sold to Iran were useless. What do you call that? Well, Mr. Reagan, aren't you ashamed of yourself?
I spoke.
You know, Mr. Reagan, what's really amazing is that you kept the entire country from knowing about the Iran deal. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Reagan. It's been an enlightening interview. I'm going to go over to Iran now and interview the... Oh, that was fast. Okay, I'm in Iran now. Mr. Ayatollah, exactly how much money did you give President Reagan? As an added feature to this wonderful interview, Mr. Ayatollah, could you please say something in Iranian? Okay, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayatollah. This has been a wonderful interview. And now back to...
On the Dr. Demento Show. He was pretty young himself when he did that one, his first record. He was 14, I think. Quite a prodigy. His sister Moon on the vocal there. And we had the Iran Scam Mudley by Eccentric Eric D. Hope you enjoyed our salute to some of the youngest recording artists ever on the Dr. Demento Show. Be right back with a funny song about some of the oldest musicians ever. Very old recording artists. But right now, a word from one of the guys who brought you Rock Me Jerry Lewis, Mr. Bud Latour.
Rover got sick, so they put him away. But now, he's back. Nightmare on Sesame Street.
Hello, everybody. Why don't you come out and play? I won't kill you or anything.
Never before has there been such a nasty display of flying fur and felt on the big screen. I saw it, and I got sick, says Gene Siskel. Gross, a severed thumbs down, says Roger Ebert. From the makers of King Friday the 13th comes Nightmare on Sesame Street. Brought to you by the letter P.
Hang on. Not yet. There's lots of 80s references in this show. This was right during the middle of the MTV generation. So I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise. I just want to get through the, I don't know what I call this. The interchange from hell. People from the 60 are getting on the 57, people from the 57 are getting on the 60, and the people that don't know which way they want to go cut in front of me. Like this guy. Fucking idiot. When I come out of this tunnel, this guy in the blue pickup truck's going to go whizzing off to my right. Because he's all pissed off that I got back in front of him after he cut me off back there. That is, of course, if he can catch me.
Once again, here's Glenn Super.
Any rock and rollers out there? Want to hear a scary thought? In about 30 years, old age homes and nursing homes will be filled with rock and rollers. 1 second, they'll be having dances, I'm sure, and here's a song they may be playing at that dance. Well, the nursing home party was an out of sight. I was dancing with my walker the entire night. Well, watch how fast I move my feet while my pacemaker keeps the beat. Grab a nurse, grab a doc, and do the geriatric rock. Well, you're never too old to rock and roll. It's sex and drugs and Geritol. Nursing homes can be a drag. Papa's got a brand new colostomy bag. Yeah, rock and roll. I ain't no swear, I've been around. My hearing aid has Dolby sound. When the band started rocking, they were watching me as I shake involuntarily. Grab a nurse, grab a doc, and do the geriatric rock. Oh, you can do anything but lay on my blue suede orthopedic shoes.
always an ease. He lives in the jungle and hangs by his knees as he swings through the trees without a trapeze in his DVD. He's got a union card and he's practicing hard to play the guitar. Gonna be a big star, yeah, he's gonna go far. And Carrie Moon keeps home in a jar. He ordered checks, guitar course, COD, makes A and E, and he's working on B, dig, C and W and R and B, and me and a chimpanzee agree that one day soon he'll be a celebrity. Get it, get it, get it, get it, ow, guitar man! He's a guitar man! He's all you can stand! Give him a hand, guitar man! He's got a girl named Jane with no last name, kinda homely and plain, but he loves her just the same, cause she kindles the flame and it drives him insane when he hears her sing. She really does her thing, it's her claim to fame. Come on, sing one, Jane. How about that? Let's hear from Jane. Yeah. Well, they got a pet monkey, he likes to get drunk and sing boogie woogie and it sounds real funky. Come on, your time, boy. Sing one, monkey. Let's hear it for the monkey. On Saturday night they need some excitement. Jane gets right and the monkey gets tight and their voices unite in the pale moonlight and it sounds alright. Yeah, it's dynamite. It's out of sight. Let's hear it right now. Get it, get it, get it, ow, guitar man! And this jungle man, they're all they can stand. Give 'em a hand, guitar man! Yeah, guitar man! And this jungle man!
Guitarzan with Ray Stevens on the Dr. Demento Show, and Glenn Super with an unreleased recording of the Geriatric Rock. We got something sweet for you now by Chris Wallace. I love chocolate.
No one teaches a class for a cow to eat grass in the same way a fish loves worm. A whale smacks his lips over plankton or ships, and bacteria devours a germ. A Chevrolet seat is a gourmet treat to a goat who can't get enough. A snake loves rat, and a hog will get fat on lots of disgusting stuff. We all keep alive on the things that we thrive on. Each of us feeds naturally. So, I'm not proud, I'll sing it out loud. There's one food perfect for me. I love chocolate. Chocolate makes me happy. Now birds eat seeds and donkeys eat weeds, and oats make a horse palate quiver. A lion needs meat and a bee needs sweet, and of course every cat loves liver. An ape loves fruit or a bamboo shoot, and a grizzly can't wait for his salmon. A spider would sing for each fly that you gave her, and clover ends all rabbits' famine. People eat quails and people eat snails, and cannibals think people taste yummy. Let all the rest have what they think best. I know what belongs in my tummy. Chocolate makes me happy. though I never could unless there was chocolate inside. Then I'd eat every morsel from starboard to dorsal, whether sauteed, baked, or fried. Vultures and jackals all get up their hackles if their feast isn't putrefied rotten. A mouse will eat cheese, and a dog will eat fleas, and a weevil just loves to eat cotton. Each species may vary their tastes culinary, that's what natural selection's about. So let them all hunt for whatever they want. For me there was never a doubt. I love chocolate. Chocolate makes me happy. I know there are those who would always oppose the idea contained in this song. They're always erupting that I am corrupting and what I'm saying is wrong. And they may be right, so with every bite I feel guilty as guilty can be. It makes me sad to know I'm so bad they should jail me and lose the key. And there I'll stay till my dying day, awaiting that death bell's peal. But at my final curtain, you can be certain what I'll have for my final meal. Chocolate, chocolate makes me happy. I love chocolate, chocolate makes me happy. I love chocolate, chocolate makes me
Some people do songs about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. There's a song about real hardcore addiction. I Love Chocolate by Chris Wallace on the Dr. Demento Show.
Of course, not many people know that Dr. Demento is allergic to chocolate. So I wonder if he broke out in hives when he was listening to that song for the first time. Just thinking about it. Chocolate. So anyway, I'm just breaking in here in case this particular hour doesn't make it through like the last one did. To let you know that if you heard any silence just then, or any time during this video, it's probably because I had to go back and erase something. So it wouldn't be blocked in all countries or whatever. I think that's all I had to say, except that we're coming up on Mount Baldy, and just to remind you that they have suspended indefinitely the search for that missing hiker who's been missing for a month now. I guess by now we can already presume that he's dead and buried under a bunch of snow. And in case you didn't know, or can't tell yet, we're getting sprinkles on the windshield, so it might snow again today up there at Mount Baldy. I was hoping we get to see some mountains this morning, but we got a bunch of clouds, so I guess we'll have to wait till tomorrow, and hopefully everything will clear out so we can see some pretty snow-covered mountains. As we turn around this bend, we should be seeing just that, but oh, there's a little bit of snow up there, you can see. No, there's a lot, actually. I thought the clouds were a lot lower than they are. Yeah, there's lots of snow up there. And it could be snowing right now. See some clouds hovering around the peaks.
It's almost 25 time on the Westwood One Radio Network, but now we got a phone call. Hi there!
Hello, Doctor. This is Trevor Williams from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I listen to you on Rock 103. And I'd like to hear, if you please, hey, you punks, get off the grass.
Punks like you just blow my mind. You're all just one of a kind, going nowhere real fast. Hey, punks, get off the grass. Who in the hell do you think you are? I'm Queen of Punk, and you better know who you really are. Going nowhere real fast. Hey, punks, get off the grass. You can't hit your wagon to a star, 'cause I'm a star, and you better know who you are. Going nowhere real fast. Hey, punks, get off the grass. Sincerity counts when you're talking to me. You don't see what you can be. Going nowhere real fast. Don't you see? Going nowhere real fast. Hey, punks. Get off the grass. Punks like you just blow my mind. You're all just one of a kind. Going nowhere real fast. Going nowhere real
Now, there's a collector's item. That's the late Edith Massey, remembered by all as the Egg Lady from Pink Flamingos, that underground film classic. Punks, get off the grass. All right, folks. And now, Dimensions and Dementites, what time is it? Yes, it's time once again for the 5 hottest slams of dementia from all over the world. Your calls and letters come, and a lot of people have been watching TV. Max Headroom with his hot new series, and so we're getting cards and letters for this one to bring it back. It was on the Funny Five a few times in 1986. Here it is for the first time in 1987.
You're quite safe here.
Am I dreaming? No. Where am I? In bed. What am I doing? Talking to myself. Look, I must have a star on my door. Are there still? Swing doors, huh? Okay, doors. Swing. Now I know I'm dreaming. How do I get to sleep? Look out those bars on the window. 1, 2, 3, sleep.
Drown me by purple cloak. Doesn't even rhyme. Is that my tea's name? It's that tea.
The Art of Noise, a single version with Max Headroom, just released for the first time on an LP, reworks of The Art of Noise. We got a phone call for number 4, I do believe. Hello?
Dr. Demento, this is Ken Anderson. I live in the demented city of Clarendon, Pennsylvania. I get demented on Wi-Fi 104. The song I would like to hear is Ew! This head.
In the morning, laughing happy fish heads. In the evening, floating in the soup. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. Ask a fish head anything you want to, they won't answer, they can't talk. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. I took a fish head out to see a movie. Didn't have to pay to get it in. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. They can't play baseball, they don't wear sweaters, they're not good dancers, they don't play drums. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. Roly-poly fish heads are never seen drinking cappuccino in Italian restaurants with Oriental women. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. Fish heads, holy, holy fish heads, fish heads, eat them up young. Yeah.
Oh, what a treat to eat them fish heads. Barnes and Barnes with number 4 on the Dr. Demento Funny 5.
Number 3.
As the executor of Mr. Muldoon's estate, I have been empowered to read Mr. Muldoon's last will and testament.
Well, get on with it. The bar's open soon.
Oh, poor dear Arthur!
There, Jenny.
God, how predictably boring.
I never worked for a kinder man.
If we are all seated, I shall proceed with the reading.
Do it.
I, Arthur Durham Muldoon, being of sound mind and body,
That's a laugh.
do hereby divide up my considerable estate as follows. To my overly emotional sister, Jenny,
Jenny, he's talking about us.
who grubbed with her husband Hank, grubbed for everything they could get from me, and then cried crocodile tears when I needed sympathy. To Jenny, I leave a boot to the head.
Jenny, are you okay?
And another boot to her wimpy husband Hank.
Ow!
But still, you are my sister. You have both admired my Rolls Royce, and since I no longer need it,
Oh, dear Arthur, he's too kind.
I bequeath another boot to the head.
What?
And one more for the win.
Ow!
Next to my alcoholic brother,
Hey, I don't want no boot to the head.
to dear Hedge, who has never worked a day in his drunken life,
I'm covering up my head.
I leave my wine cellar and 3 crates of my finest whiskey.
Really?
And a boot to the head.
Oh!
And another for Jenny in the wind. Next, to my know-it-all nephew Ralston,
This is so predictable.
I leave a boot to the head.
I knew it.
And one for Jenny in the wind.
Oh!
This takes care of family obligations. And now to Mrs. Mulroy,
I don't want nothing.
who took care of me faithfully these many, many years, who cared, made me laugh, brought me tea.
Oh, I didn't mind.
To Mrs. Mulroy, I bequeath a boot to the head. And one for Jenny in the wind.
Oh!
And so to my cat Mittens, I leave my entire vast boot to the head. And finally to my lawyer, who has helped me on this will, I leave not a boot to the head, but a rabid Tasmanian devil to be placed in his trousers. And I leave my entire estate of $10 million to the people of Calgary so they can afford to move somewhere decent.
Last will and temperament with a boot to the head. The Frantics with number 3 on the Dr. Demento Funny 5. Number 2.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Hey, Rocky! Hey, Rocky! Does Rocky have something up his sleeve? Up my sleeve. Hey, Rocky! Does Rocky have something up his sleeve? Up my sleeve. Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Up my sleeve. Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Up my sleeve. Briscoe! I gotta get to the hat.
Well, when we left our story last time, things were in terrible shape. Some of the nation's smartest geniuses were turning into complete idiots. It was all the fault of a mean little man from a mean little country. Go on, state the name. Boris, state the name. Boris, state the name. Publicity. Enough take now, just a minute. This isn't the end. No, but it won't be long now. Good heavens. Yes, armed with a weapon which fired clouds of a strange substance called goof gas, Boris was lowering the nation's IQ in a hurry. In desperation, the government sent for Bullwinkle J. Moose. You cool?
Yeah, here's a letter for you, Bullwinkle.
Now, at this very moment, our heroes are hot on Boris's trail.
This way, Bullwinkle.
Little realizing that Boris is really lying in wait for them. So as our heroes round the corner, take that, Moses Squirrel.
Like a beautiful bee drop. I shall now be stick.
Oh, cheers.
Rocky baby, Rocky baby, stick to me.
Sure, who are you?
Who am I?
but the effect on Bullwinkle was negligible. Didn't bother me much either. See?
Why didn't Goof get the fake news?
Because Goof gets the makes the brain.
And
No brain, no effect. No brain, no effect. No brain, no brain, no brain, no effect.
Hey, Rocky! Hey, Rocky! Hey, Rocky! Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat!
I'm here.
Me with the 6 time pause. Standing room only. For rock and roll.
Rocky and Bullwinkle time warped into the 1980s through a sampling machine. The voices of June Foray, Bill Scott, and Paul Frees, and released under the name of Boris Bad Enough on that current 45 that's number 2 this week on the Dr. Demento Funny 5. And now it's time for the Audio Torture Chamber. Some of the most amazing sounds from the very depths of the Dr. Demento archives. This is what we record collectors call a Salvation Army thrift store special. I was going to play the A side of this record, which is called I Got the Wheelchair Blues from Breaking My Back Over You, but it's 6 minutes long and we only have 1 minute for the Audio Torture Chamber. So here's the other side. I Never Seen the Buttercups Until I Seen Your Eyes by Jerry Herzon, True Art.
oh, I've never seen the buttercups till I've seen your eyes. Never seen the buttercups till I've seen your eyes. I never seen the buttercups till I've seen your eyes. I never seen the buttercups till I've seen your eyes. Doggone, that's good. Then I wrote, I've never seen the buttercups till I've seen your eyes. I've never seen the buttercups till I've seen your eyes. I've never seen the buttercups till I've seen your eyes.
Nirvana at 45 RPM. How sad that we don't have time for the last chorus and the big operatic finish, but the Audio Torture Chamber is closed until next week. Be right back with number 1.
It's time for number 1. This is it. Here it comes, number 1.
When I turn on the radio, I hear this rotten noise. The name of the group is the Beastie Boys. They've got no talent, and you know it's true. They're having the last laugh on me and you. Someone please tell me how they got to number 1. Cause they speak real rude and act real dumb. They got no manners and they got no class. And if I ever meet them, I will kick them in the pants. They can't play guitars and they can't play drums. They do a better job of sucking their thumbs. Someone's greased the wheels with lots of money. If this group's number 1, I smell something funny. You gotta fight for your right to vomit, yeah. If you do what the Beasties are telling you, it's cool to be crude and it's cool to be rude. It's cool to stay in bed and it's cool to skip school. But you haven't got their parents financing you. They don't go to school and they haven't got a job, cause everything is paid for by Ma and Pa. They're great big stars on MTV. Between them they don't have the brains of a flea. Okay, now it's time for guitar lesson number 1. Okay, now put your hands here.
Hello, what do I do with all these strings, man?
Don't worry, it'll be all right. Now pick the string.
Oh man, that sounds like dog squat.
Don't worry. We'll turn it up real loud and they'll never know. If you can't play, don't let it worry you. Cause it's easy to be crude and it's easy to be rude. It's easy to swear and it's easy to be dumb. It's easy to act like you're having fun. It's hard to find yourself a millionaire to pay all your bills and get you on the air. But if you do what I'm telling you, then you can be like the Beastie Boys too. It's Nightmare on American Avenue, Part 83. Hey, remember Talent? No, who do they report for? I wanna be a Beastie Boy.
Give me another beer, Mom.
I wanna be real stupid and real rich. You know, with all this money, you think I can afford to shave.
Number 1 this week on the Funny 5, those are the utensils with the Beastie Rap, now available on a 12-inch that also contains the dreaded beer mix. Well, that's the Funny 5. I'll be right back with a preview of next week's Dr. Demento show. Dr. Demento once again. It's just about all the time we have for this week. Hope you enjoyed our Children's Hour on this program. Next week it'll be Mother's turn. Yes, Mother's Day coming up. We'll have some of the traditional and not so traditional Mother's Day favorites, along with some music by the mothers of invention, that is, with Frank Zappa. If you'd like to write me a letter, Dr. Demento, P.O. Box 884, Culver City, California 90230. Love to hear from you. Once again, that's Dr. Demento, P.O. Box 884, Culver City, California 90230. Robert Young is the associate producer of the Dr. Demento Show. Chris Lindsley is our engineer. Our production assistant is Christine Weaver. The Dr. Demento Show is a weekly presentation of the Westwood One Radio Network. Executive producer, Norm Patties. Thank you so much for listening. Love yourself and don't forget to stay demented. Hi there, friends. It's Dr. Demento, prescribing mad music and crazy comedy every week. Stacks and stacks of laugh and wax. This week featuring Peter Sellers, Spike Jones, Jim Backus, Eddie Murphy, Mel Blanc, Max Headroom, Weird Al Yankovic, Dweezil Zappa, and Ray Stevens. A star-studded show. We'll also have a special segment of car songs, always popular, and one for some of the youngest recording artists of all time, from Shirley Temple to Molly Ringwald. The Dr. Demento Show. You have an appointment.
From Shirley Temple to Molly Ringwald. He was really pushing that Molly Ringwald song he found, huh? Yeah. Okay, well, we made it. Of course, I haven't parked yet, but we made it before the show was over. Well, we got the show in before we made it here, and the drive was over. Actually, that's what I meant to say. Something along those lines. I gotta straighten out here. Whew. Something else we made. Chad. I promised you I would try, and I did. I made it here by 7:33. All right, now 7:33. You made it in 1 hour, Danny D. Yes, I did, Chad. So deuces. Peace out. Peace tea out. IBC root beer out. 10-4 over and out. 7:33 and out. Boy. Click.